Good evening and welcome to ITV News. This is Friday night's calendar.
Yes, hello. Thank you for joining us. Here are tonight's main stories.
Still seeking answers a year since Maddie Cusack's death.
It's unimaginable. Pain daily. It's awful.
We hear from the footballer's family ahead of a vigil in her memory in Sheffield shortly. Also tonight.
A man admits killing delivery driver Claudio Carol Condor on his rounds in Leeds, but denies his murder.
Fresh warnings over delays for Transpennine travellers this weekend ahead of another full closure. And
how about this for an underground music scene? A first for the Grimethorpe Colliery Band as it returns to its roots. Hello, good evening. It's been a year since footballer Maddie Cusack took her own life. And in an exclusive interview with ITV News, her family have said they want justice and hope that an ongoing investigation by the FA brings accountability.
They allege that bullying played a significant part in her actions. Her club, Sheffield United, was cleared of any wrongdoing by an independent inquiry, while a separate inquest into her death was briefly opened and adjourned in October.
Maddie's mother, father and sister have been speaking to Mark Keelish-Levine.
Maddie Cusack is a Sheffield United legend, playing over 100 games for the club and working in their marketing department. But tragically, Maddie took her own life last September. For her family, the pain has been immeasurable.
The year seems to have gone quickly. I can't believe it's a year. There's some very dark times at the beginning. Still dark times now, but it's something you don't get used to, but something you have to come to terms with.
We just try and support each other. I've got 3 other children. We're very, very close. And, you know, we'll get through it together.
Maddie's mum, dad and siblings still have unanswered questions. They maintain that Maddie had no previous issues with mental health and alleged that bullying at Sheffield United led to Maddie taking her life. The club were cleared of any wrongdoing by an independent inquiry, but an FA investigation looking at the circumstances of Maddie's death began at the start of this year. The family hopes that it gives them the answers and accountability they need.
We know why what happened. We know because we were so close with her and she confided in us. It's not as if we were estranged or there were issues. There were none of that. So we know. It's not a mystery to us. We're surprised by what happened and shocked even. But But it's not a mystery.
Everybody has to be accountable for their actions. You do, I do. And I think things certainly need to change within the women's game. This is a good opportunity to make those changes happen, because this is so tragic that, you know, as I say, it can't be allowed to happen again, and that's a good reason to make change, isn't it? To make sure it doesn't happen again.
As well as fighting for Maddie, the family are putting their energy into a foundation set up in her memory and spearheaded by younger sister Olivia. It aims to improve access to women's football for young girls, because Maddie was often an inspiration to young players.
To me, she was just my big sister, so I always looked up to her, and you know, all of my friends, we all wanted to be like Maddie, and if you didn't know Maddie, you wanted to know her. If she did all of the hard work before, I'm just carrying on what she started, and I'm trying to do the best that I can, that she, you know, she'd be proud of what we've done for her. And, you know, it's just an extension of how much that we loved her and, you know, how much we miss her as well, because we're still grieving her, but it's easier this way because she doesn't feel too far away from us.
The foundation has already raised thousands of pounds, which helps to keep Maddie's legacy going. But the Cusacks are still hurting, are still angry, and vow to not rest until they get the answers they need. Mark Keelish-Levine, ITV News.
Well, we put the issues raised by the family in Mark's report to Sheffield United. The club told us in a statement, the thoughts of everyone associated with Sheffield United Football Club remain with the Cusack family, as well as Maddie's friends, colleagues and teammates. We're pleased to be asked to host a vigil for Maddie, and in the closest fixture to the anniversary of her passing, on Saturday the 21st of September against Derby County, the club Maddie supported, a number of initiatives are planned to supplement those that have taken place in the last 12 months. And Maddie's family and friends will be at that vigil, which will be getting underway in just under an hour's time at Bramall Lane.
A man has admitted killing a delivery driver who was trying to prevent his van being stolen in Leeds. Mark Ross, who's 32, pleaded guilty via video link from prison to the manslaughter of 42-year-old Claudio Carol Condor, but not guilty to his murder. Mr. Condor was pronounced dead at the scene of the incident in Wortley in August. It's alleged he was dragged along the road as he tried to prevent his transit van being driven away.
Drivers heading out of Yorkshire towards Manchester this weekend will likely face delays as a section of the M62 shuts completely from this evening. It's the second planned closure of the Cross Pennine motorway, which carries around 120,000 vehicles a day. And it's all for this to allow Network Rail to replace Castleton Bridge between junctions 19 and 20 at Rochdale. Eastbound, it's shut from junction 18 at Simister Island to 20 at Rochdale. Westbound, it's between junction 20 and junction 19 at Haywood.
And the bridge has been deteriorating for several years now. As such, we've had some operational restrictions on there, which meant that only one train could travel. We demolished the original structure 2 weekends ago, and this weekend we will install the new bridge deck.
Well, what does that mean for the roads this weekend? Helen Steele has been finding out more for us.
Well, you've heard what's happening, but this is how it's all being monitored. I'm at the National Highways Regional HQ, and with such a major stretch of motorway being closed for such a significant amount of time, it does take a lot of monitoring. Well, I can speak to Marissa here. Marissa, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so you're looking at our control centre, where we've got all these members of staff actively monitoring the strategic road network in the northeast.
And what did it look like when it was closed this time 2 weeks ago?
From our region in the northeast area, we didn't see a significant impact. That was due to very good preemptive comms. So we had regional media, national media, informing customers before the actual event to possibly plan an alternative route or avoid the area altogether, which worked extremely well. Thank you to the public for listening.
Brilliant, thank you so much. And obviously this stretch of road wasn't closed, it was over in the northwest. And now we can speak to Dee, who's come from over there, haven't you? So what was it looking like in your area?
In the northwest it was extremely busy. You've got a major road route and a major rail route shut at the same time. OK,
and what's the advice for this weekend?
Our advice is actually quite simple. If you don't have to travel, if you can put your journey off, please do so. It is going to be extremely busy on the diversion routes, on all routes across the country. If you do travel, plan ahead and expect large delays.
And on that diversion note, were people following the more local ones, or there were some that went as far as the Lake District? Were people doing that?
Yes, there were some people who followed it directly, so the local track obviously came off at the closures. Other people were, up in Scotland we found people were transferring across the country and down the west, so people were doing their best to avoid the area completely, which is great advice.
Thank you so much, and as always the advice is check before you travel. The closures are from 9 p.m. tonight until 6 a.m. on Monday morning.
And if you do have to travel and you want to make those checks, you can find out more about the diversion routes available on our website, itv.com/calendar. Still to come here on tonight's programme.
I mean, there's some worthy contenders, but we all ended up agreeing on the same person.
We reveal which of our fantastic fundraisers will represent Calendar at the Pride of Britain Awards.
And we're all on the same page this weekend as the astronomical season shifts into autumn. But are we really saying goodbye to summer with a bang for our part of the UK? All the detail a little later on.
But first, research seen exclusively by Calendar shows teachers think children's activity levels are declining.
It's prompted a push to get youngsters in our region to take part in the Daily Mile, a national campaign which has been backed by ITV for the last 7 years.
The idea is to get children walking, wheeling or running for around 15 minutes a day. They're already doing it at one South Yorkshire school, as Catherine Walker reports.
Swapping their pencils for trainers. These children at Tankersley St Peter's Primary School in Barnsley are keen to get outside and engage their legs as well as their minds.
It keeps me entertained and it helps me focus in class. It keeps us fit and healthy.
Whether running as fast as they can or taking a leisurely stroll, this 15 minutes of exercise is part of the school timetable.
We do the daily mile every day. The little children, the Foundation 1 and Foundation 2, our nursery and reception, they go out onto their playground and they do 10 laps of their little playground, which is really lovely.
Today we're going to start something new called the Daily Mile.
The Daily Mile is part of a national campaign backed by ITV to get children moving. And this year, organisers say it's needed more than ever. A recent poll found that 8 out of 10 teachers in Yorkshire and North Lincolnshire think children's activity levels are declining. 2/3 said the first term of the school year is the most challenging for getting them active, and half said a lack of activity makes children less attentive in class.
On your marks, get set, go!
This year, every council in the region has at least one school taking part in the Daily Mile. But former Team GB athlete Perry Shakes-Drayton wants all children to have the chance to get involved.
For some kids, that may be their only exercise that they get of the day. So the fact that you implement it into a school, into your school day, these kids are now going to go back into their lesson feeling enthusiastic, energised and ready to learn.
And with a new government looking to review the school curriculum, those behind the campaign hope that daily exercise will be part of that equation. Catherine Walker, ITV News.
OK, time for some sport now, and are better times on the horizon for Yorkshire County Cricket Club?
Xero Accounting Software sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Well, the man who can tell us is Chris, who's with us again tonight. Hello, Chris.
Hello.
And a big win for Yorkshire today.
Certainly was, Ian. Yeah, I mean, we know it's been a difficult few years, don't we, both on and off the pitch for Yorkshire, but promotion to county cricket's top division is now in their own hands. It took the White Rose just an hour to take the 3 Glamorgan wickets needed to seal victory today. Jordan Thompson with that final wicket. That means Yorkshire need just 10 points from their final game of the season against Northamptonshire next week to seal promotion. Not such good news, though, for the Sheffield Tigers Speedway team, who won't be retaining their Premiership title this season after losing to Bellevue over 2 legs, the second at Overton last night. Meanwhile, the Leeds Rhinos know nothing short of a win will do for them at Hull KR tonight if they're to finish in the top 6 and qualify for the playoffs.
We're not worrying about finals. We're worrying about making sure that the team that we've been trying to be over the last 9 games, we did that for 8 weeks. Didn't get every result go our way, but we'd set some standards and expectations of performance, and we need to make sure we finish the season that way. And then what happens from there, we'll just have to deal with.
And finally from me, it promises to be one of the biggest nights in boxing for quite some time. 96,000 people will be at Wembley Stadium tomorrow, a post-war record, to see if Anthony Joshua go head-to-head with British rival Daniel Dubois. Meanwhile, on the undercard, Leeds' very own Josh Warrington is aiming to get his career back on track when he takes on Anthony Kakache. Well, before Josh headed down to the capital, I caught up with him.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're a bit snazzy, aren't they?
At any showbiz event, you dress to impress, and Josh Warrington is one of the stars of the show.
We'll sparkle them, won't we? We'll sparkle them. Come on.
Tomorrow night, Josh will fight Anthony Kakache in front of 95,000 fans at Wembley Stadium.
Ultimately, when I'm in the ring, I'm not going to see, people who are in the stands. I'm not going to see Dave and Tony who are winning Rose Head up at the top, but I'm going to enjoy the moment after, because it's, these occasions don't come around often, and like I say, adding to my legacy, should be victorious on September 21st.
His legacy has taken something of a battering of late. Josh has lost his last 2 fights, the latest against Lee Wood last October.
After a while, you need to stop complaining, because it can't be changed, it's been done. So after, I think, about 5 or 6 weeks of sulking, moaning, carrying on to my missus and my friends. It's like, right, just put it behind you. Use it as energy, just use it as motivation to make you more focused, more motivated for the next one.
Is this going to be as tough a fight as your last one?
In my head, yes. I always feel the better performances from myself have come when, like I say, I am properly written off. When the boxing people are saying, this might be a step too fast for Josh, this is when it really get me between my teeth. You know, you look at Selby, Frampton, them kind of wins, it was when I was a massive underdog.
The event itself will be a star-studded affair. It's been bankrolled by Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund. Liam Gallagher's booked to perform, and this promo was produced by Hollywood director Guy Ritchie. What was Guy Ritchie like?
Unbelievable. And you know what? He did say to me, hey, you're in the wrong profession. So listen, I'm a boxer, I'm not a performer, I've never been to acting school or like that, but he says I can. And listen, he's a fantastic director.
And when you hang up the gloves, potentially, you could become an actor.
Lock, stock, free smoking barrels, I'm there.
But until that day comes, Josh's focus is firmly on his boxing and rewriting that particular script. Never know, do you? Could be next door at Emmerdale.
I'm sure that's what he's got his sights set on, Chris.
Well, why not?
Why not, indeed. Thank you very much indeed. Now, we've all heard of bands delving deep into their back catalogue, but one famous Yorkshire outfit has taken things a step further.
Yes, Grimethorpe Colliery Band has history dating back more than a century. It's thought they haven't actually played in a coal mine, though, until now.
Ahead of a sold-out show at the National Coal Mining Museum near Wakefield to coincide with the 40th anniversary of the miners' strike. They donned their safety gear to stage a special performance, as Jonathan Brown has been finding out.
It's not your average music venue, but the mine shafts at what used to be Cap House Colliery have acoustics all of their own.
Fantastic, it's the best concert hall in the world.
Scott plays the cornet for what's probably the most famous brass band on the planet. Its deep roots in Yorkshire's coal mining past, something he holds dear. His dad Bob, seen here on the right, worked down the pit a few miles away in Ackworth. So for him, hearing the music of mine workers echo through these chambers feels special.
It sends a bit of a chill down your spine. I mean, I think I probably would have followed him into the mining industry, but unfortunately when I started work, all the collieries had closed, so the noise and the dust and the smells and the heat and the things like that, it must have been years, yeah. Very difficult job.
Grimethorpe in South Yorkshire was a village that grew up around the mining industry, its pit employing thousands. Its colliery band was established 107 years ago as an outlet for workers and has since become known the world over.
A fortnight ago, this band's pit were closed. Another 1,000 men lost their jobs.
The 1996 film Brassed Off, starring the likes of Ewan McGregor, was inspired by its triumph against adversity, bringing the emotion of its battle for survival following the pit's closure to the big screen. Today, the only accessible deep coal mine in England is here at the National Coal Mining Museum near Wakefield. So ahead of a show here above ground, marking 40 years since the miners' strikes, the band took the plunge 460 feet below the surface.
These days, these narrow passageways deep underground aren't only manned by former miners, but more than 100,000 visitors to this museum every year. And this is the only place in England where you can do that.
Today, most of the band's musicians aren't actually ex-miners. So for the likes of horn player Helen, who's a school teacher, this was an important glimpse into the past.
It's really something, you know, the sound as we came down the lift as we were coming down, you could hear the players at the bottom already, and it was sort of echoing right the way through the chambers. It's really something else. It's a real privilege to be part of an event like this.
It's a very important time for us as a country and as coalfield communities looking back at those challenging times, but everything else that the coal industry meant as well. And to be able to do that with Grimethorpe is very special indeed for us.
So after these once bustling subterranean chambers were brought to life by the music beloved by miners, It's hoped putting the spotlight on this art form can keep their chorus playing for generations to come. Jonathan Brown, ITV News, Wakefield.
Can't beat a brass band, can you?
It's a fabulous museum and they're making a fabulous sound there.
Great
aren't
place,
they?
yeah, absolutely.
Kerry's with us now. And Kerry, we're all on the same page now, aren't we? Meteorological autumn meets astrological autumn.
Yeah, you're looking very summery. Are you just going to hold on to those last couple of days of summer?
Always.
Yeah, I've been talking about autumn for 20 days. We work in full months in meteorology just because it's easier to do the maths and especially for our statistics. But yes, on Sunday, we've got our astronomical autumn, which is actually a specific moment in time for all of us, marking the point at which the sun crosses the equator, goes into the southern hemisphere. So, of course, our days get shorter, and that's on Sunday at 1:43. But the days when the days and nights are equal is actually called the equilux, and that's on Wednesday a few days later, and that's due to a delay in how we see light and view the sun, because we see the tip of the sun coming up the horizon before the centre of it, and also we have something called atmospheric refraction, which basically means the light gets bent and we see the sun rising before it rises and the sun setting after it rises.
Some big words to grapple with there,
Kerry. On a Friday, atmospheric refraction.
Pictures.
There you go. Yeah, it's feeling autumnal now, isn't it? This was earlier on in the week where we had it pretty chilly, some low cloud, a beautiful sunset, and some spiders' webs. We absolutely love them. And fly agaric, which of course is our common toadstool. It's mushroom season as well as autumn season.
Fabulous.
How about that?
So is it autumn or summer this weekend, just so I know?
There's a risk of some heavy thundery downpours in the southwest of the UK. I hope we're going to escape them until later on Sunday.
Let's hope so. Fingers crossed. Thanks a lot, Kerry. Thank you.
Now, finally, all this week we've been featuring some fantastic fundraisers from our region, and one of them will be representing Callander at the Pride of Britain Awards next month. Well, the task of choosing the winner lay with Laura, myself and Emmerdale's Johnny McPherson, who plays Dr. Liam Kavanagh. Well, after watching films featuring all the nominees and a lot, believe me, of agonising, we had to choose a winner, and it really was tough, but we did finally get there in the end.
I mean, there's some worthy contenders, but we all ended up agreeing on the same person. I think it's the fact that they've taken something that personally affected them a great deal, and they took that adversity and then created something just really unique, really extraordinary, and that's going to be of huge value to so many people across the country.
So, decision made. All it needed was to hand over the trophy, and you've been to surprise the winner, Ian.
Oh yes, very exciting. I have indeed. Now, they thought we were there to film some extra footage for our social media channels, but that wasn't the case at all. Well, I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Ian and Rachel, and it's lovely to see you both.
You too, Ian. Really nice.
Ian, I have to ask you first of all, I mean, you know, you have been shortlisted to represent the Callander region at the Pride of Britain Awards. I mean, that's quite something, isn't it?
It's such a privilege, Ian. I'm doing something I really enjoy. I'm doing it for a reason that's so important to us.
He's incredible. You know, he has MND, but he's climbing mountains and he's putting himself through things that able-bodied wouldn't even dream of doing. So I just think that that's just incredible, just amazing, and it really would be a privilege, I think.
Well, obviously, we didn't come here just to do social media, did we? No, we didn't, because I have got something here for you. And I'm very proud to say that you are going to be the Daily Mirror Pride of Britain Fundraiser Award person for the ITV Callander region. Oh, wow. So many, many congratulations to you. That, Rachel and Ian, is recognition of everything you've done, and you will go on to represent Callander at the National Awards.
You sneaky son.
What do you think about
that? I can't believe you've done that. That's absolute. Ian, I can't believe it.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, that's incredible. Oh, Ian, thank you. Thank you, everybody. That's amazing.
It is amazing. Rachel?
I can't believe that.
I'm speechless. Thank you so much.
I can't believe that. Oh, Ian.
You're going to make me cry.
That is just beautiful. What a tricky, sneaky thing.
Oh, genuine surprise there from Ian and his wife,
I
wasn't
know.
it?
You'll never trust me again, will
I know,
you?
you did a very good job. It's sneaky, like you said, very sneaky. Let's go to Kerry now with the weather.
Good visibility on the horizon. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello again. Yes, definitely more cloud around the region today, but we have seen some lovely sunny spells earlier on in the week and plenty of blue sky. Like here at Pugneys Country Park, a big thank you to Di Bagliani for the shots, and this one from Adrian of the fantastic Cirrus over South Yorkshire. We do look to the south for low pressure building through the weekend, but it does basically stay to the southwest of the UK. So southern parts of the region at greatest risk of some showery outbreaks as we head through the weekend, mostly Sunday evening into Monday for most parts of the region. So we have to backtrack tonight. One or two clearer spells continuing over the next few hours to western fringes, but again, like previous nights, we are expecting that cloud to come in off the North Sea. A lot of low cloud, mist and murk over the hills as well tonight, and that cloud canopy does keep the temperatures well up to 13 to 15 Celsius despite a little bit of a northeasterly breeze. As we head into tomorrow, a great shot by Mick from last night's sunset, 6:51 and 7:06 are your sun times for tomorrow. Disappointingly cloudy, even some moisture, some light rain and drizzle out of any thicker cloud first thing on Saturday, but soon improving. A mostly dry afternoon with a good dose of sunshine, little cooler and cloudier at times along the coast, and we look to the south for the greatest risk of a shower, which could be heavy and thundery, but many places will escape. They'll once more push south and westwards, and again on Sunday, it's just in the south of the region that we could see one or two showers. The further north you are, the drier the conditions, but still a little cooler and cloudier along the coastline. It does look more unsettled though, and temperatures back down to near normal Monday into Tuesday.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
There you go. Hopefully we'll stay in that window of better weather for most of the weekend.
19s and 20s are all right,
We
aren't
can
they?
cope with that,
I'll stay
yes.
summery for now.
Have a great weekend. What
Thanks
are
for
you doing?
watching, and see you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.